Okay, we have this kind of graphic mountain scene that I wanted to recreate. So you're going to trace a perfect circle, unless you're superhuman and you can draw perfect circles. And then I want you to look at your scene and how it's divided. So the trees, if I'm looking at it vertically, I have thirds. So the left third is my three trees, sorry, and then the center is my mountains. And on the right, I've got three more trees. So I've got my shortest tree, my tallest, and then my medium height, and I'm going to jot over to the right, and I've got my tallest tree that comes first, and then in the background I've got this really small tree. And then where the lake is, that's about the bottom quarter way down the page. So if I'm looking at it horizontally, I'm going to divide it into quarters, and halfway down about where that center mountain peak starts, and I'm giving just the general angle of my mountains to start with. And then I'm going to start giving the details of the pine trees. Now they're thin and they're very organic, kind of pointy, I don't even know if it's considered a squiggle, but they're going to be angled down, and you want to make each section a little bit different. So some jets out a little bit farther than the next. And that's important because otherwise it looks a little too uniform, and that's not how trees are in nature. So you are going to have a little bit of a gap and a little bit of overlapping as you go down from the top of the tree to the bottom. And I really just pay attention to what I'm drawing the most instead of looking at my paper and worrying about that. So if I'm trying to follow each section and give the general idea and it reads as a tree, then that's a huge success. Okay, and once I'm done with that, you're going to go back through and we're going to visit the mountains. So let's finish this part up. And we want to get these shapes as close as we can. And so again, angles, and then where it juts out and bumps down. And then I am using just a really fine tip mechanical pencil that kind of helps for a small sketch like this. And then I'm reversing where everything juts out. It's kind of like I'm mimicking that first mountain, but in reverse. And then I'm going to drop down and show that the mountain's coming towards me. No lines are vertical at this point. They're going to go to the left or to the right. So kind of concentrate on that, and then you'll get those angles and peaks that are in shadow or in sun correct. And then I've got just a third little mountain, and this gives the illusion of depth because I have three different sizes in front of each other, and then they're behind the trees, which is the closest to us. And then we're going to do a little circle for our sun ray. Make sure that drops behind the tree, so that the tip of the tree isn't touching the bottom tip of that sun. And I'm going to outline this. I'm using my microline pen. I'm doing a 0.35 milliliter. It's a little bit, it's kind of a thinner tip, but for this small of a drawing, it's my thicker tip. And I'm outlining everything first. And then what I'm going to do is I want to give this silhouette effect, but the trees would blend right into the lake. So I'm giving a little bit of a edge that I've outlined to keep that part white. And I'm not going to color this in solid because the paper that I'm using in my sketchbooks, it's nice, but it's not super thick, and so too much ink, it tends to ripple my page. And then the sun rays, I want to, as I go around the sun and draw those lines out, make sure the distance is about, I don't know, same width as I go around the sun. And I'm just kind of doing the scribbly effect to give a controlled scribbled look, so it's not solid black, but it's kind of uniform how I filled it in, and it doesn't look sloppy. I'm not going outside of the lines. And then I'm going to take a thinner pen that's a 0.25 milliliter, and I'm going to give my vertical stripes on the mountain, so that shows the shadows, and touch up anything, erase my pencil marks, and then you're done.